famous man who was disqualified from competing for elections. Welcome and enter Dr. Aka Blemeza.
Aka Blemeza of Ghana, tribesman who reached Nyanzu II. To others, he is the Fat Man, or just Doc. Blemeza says he is the richest man in the world, the sole beneficiary of a secret trust fund that last time he counted stood at $27 billion. That's billion dollars. But there is one small problem. The trust is so secret, so complex, he says that he needs financial help to unblock those funds. So he turns to investors, promising them a massive 1,000% return on their money. Put up $1 million, you'd get back $10 million. The mystery of Africa, the promise of instant riches. For hundreds of Americans who'd heard about his secret fund, it was an offer too good to refuse.
When people found out that I had invested some money, they asked me, can I put money in? They asked me the story, and they were basically throwing money at me.
Barry Ginsberg is a lawyer from Philadelphia, where Blemeza first started his operation. Together with friends, Ginsberg handed over nearly $2 million.
I said to my father, I said, Dad, it's so outrageous. It's got to be true. I mean, how can you concoct this story like this?
What was that story? Where did the secret billions come from? They came, Blemeza said, from this man, Kwame Nkrumah, the late first president of the Republic of Ghana. Before he was deposed in 1966 after 10 years of rule, according to Blemeza, Nkrumah smuggled out tons of gold and some of the country's huge cocoa profits into Swiss banks. He then set up the Oman Ghana Trust, making his friend John Aka Blemeza its sole beneficiary. At least that's what Blemeza said.
I thought that he spoke with sincerity. I looked him in the eye, and he told me what the money was for.
So you decided
to invest.
Walter Hodjuk is a wealthy businessman from New Jersey who met Blemeza through friends in Philadelphia.
How much have you put in over the years?
Considerable.
Considerable. I've heard $7 million. Fair statement?
Considerable.
You wouldn't wave me off that figure?
No, I don't think so.
How much of a return have you seen on your investment?
None.
Blemeza often told investors he was a close and trusted friend of Kwame Nkrumah. So close, he said, that in 1972, when the former Prime Minister of Ghana died in exile in Romania, Blemeza was right there at his deathbed. But in fact, the records show that in 1972, Blemeza couldn't have been in Romania because he was here at Graterford Prison in Pennsylvania, serving a 1 to 2 year sentence for posing as a United Nations diplomat and defrauding a Philadelphia hotel. He'd stuck them with a bill for over $2,000. Although he promised investors a quick return on their money, for over 14 years, no one has seen a cent. No one, that is, except John Aka Blemeza, who lives today in London in a style that wouldn't embarrass the Queen. He can afford to. It's said from Americans alone he's taken more than $200 million.
Go.
Before he agreed to sit on his tribal throne with his scepter and talk with us, Blemeza said he had to carry out an old tribal custom, to vow to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Have you defrauded people?
I have not.
That Oman Ghana fund is real.
It is real. And they are paying.
And it contains billions of dollars.
Correct.
And these people will be paid.
Will be paid.
Have you been able to give any of your supporters a guarantee
that they'll get their money? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, they have the guarantee.
What is the guarantee?
Mr. Bradley, my word is better than my bond. When I promise you that after giving me $100,000, I'll give you $1 million, I will never, 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 never dishonor it.
That's your word?
That is my word. And
better than your bond?
Oh, yes.
Blemeza says the only reason investors haven't been paid yet is the difficulty he's encountered unblocking that trust. Every morning in London's Piccadilly, he arrives in a white Rolls-Royce at the offices of the Oman Ghana Trust. Flanked by private British security guards, he hurries in to try to release those elusive billions. In his office, he reassures investors who are still believers.
Over the years, I've been branded as a confidence man, a flim-flam artist. I say I have not defrauded anybody.
But how has Blamisa kept investors on the hook for so long? Excuses have ranged from problems caused by military coups in Ghana to the overcautious nature of Swiss bankers. And when investors got suspicious, he simply upped the return he had promised them.
He said, I'm going to write down a figure on a piece of paper. If you don't like it, let me know. He wrote down the figure of $150 million.
$150 million bucks.
Yeah.
You must have felt pretty good then.
I did. I felt very good. I thought it was coming to a close. We would be getting our money any day.
And then what happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened.
By 1986, Barry Ginsberg had had enough. He filed a complaint with the district attorney's office here in Philadelphia, claiming that Blamisa and his American associate, Robert Ellis, had defrauded him and a group of other investors of nearly $2 million. Ellis was tried, convicted, and sentenced to a minimum of 5 years in prison. There is still a warrant out for the arrest of Blamisa. Philadelphia District Attorney Ronald Castile says Blamisa had long since fled the States and moved back to Ghana, but he was then picked up by authorities there.
He was in jail in Ghana facing a charge, as they informed us, economic crimes against the state, which in Ghana carries the death penalty, we were told. But he is such a confidence man that he was able to convince the Ghanaian authorities to let him out of Ghana once again and go to London to distribute this trust fund. The guy can talk himself out of literally off of death row.
Not only did Blamisa talk himself off death row, he even brought the man who arrested him in Ghana back with him to London to work for him. Or maybe he's just there to keep an eye on him.
And now, which agency are you with?
I'm with the police.
The police?
Yes.
But now you're here in his office?
Yes, I'm assistant in the whole program.
So you're working with him now?
Working with him and working with the government.
What is your relationship with the government today? Is it good?
Oh, yes. I'm a government official of the Republic of Ghana.
Is there a title that...
A government official.
But it's like minister or...
No. With this, I'm attached to do, or I'm instructed to do special duties.
And those special duties relate to the...
Fund.
To the fund.
Yes.
That government position now gives Blamisa diplomatic status, which means he can't be arrested in England or extradited to the United States. But the Ghanaian government has laid down a condition for this arrangement: leave former President Nkrumah's name out of it. So now he does.
Our former president has no involvement in the fund. Has no involvement in the fund.
None whatsoever?
Not at all. These are mere suggestions from the public.
I'm totally confused.
Oh, yes, you should be.
Where did the money in the fund come from?
From our ancestors.
From your ancestors?
Ancestors, yes.
Where did they get so much money?
So where did they get the money from? Yeah. Well, I cannot disclose it.
Over the years, Blamisa has shown investors dozens of documents to back up his claims. Oman Ghana Trust brochures list over 20 subsidiary companies supposedly set up to develop Ghana when the money comes through. But all of them exist just on paper.
That was all part of the show. They were parts of the Rolls Royces, the palaces, the tribal robes, the retinue of retainers. They're all